My heart is so full. And you know I love me some Julie Smith, and I see her right there. I am deeply humbled to accept this role on behalf of Georgia cities. Serving as your GMA president is the honor of a lifetime. I do not take it lightly. I'm standing here because of College Park, our residents, our incredible staff, and my colleagues who've supported me on this journey. Thank you so much. GMA president isn't just a title, it's trust. Trust to represent our communities, our voices, and our vision for the future. I am grateful for your belief in me. I want to express my sincere gratitude to Mayor Fred Perriman of Madison. Your steady leadership, quiet strength, and generous heart have been an example to all of us. Mr. President, thank you for your grace and for your legacy of service. I love you. To Mayors Gibby, Burnett, and Johnson, congratulations. I am so excited about working with each one of you as we continue to move all of Georgia's cities forward. I would also like to thank the entire GMA staff, led by our Executive Director and CEO, Larry Hansen. Larry, you and your team guide us all to better outcomes in our cities with knowledge, passion, and dedication. None of us would be where we are without this exceptional organization. And sure, we can clap at that, yeah. And just as the GMA team has been a constant source of strength in my professional journey, my family has been the foundation of my personal one. I wouldn't be here without the love and support of my family and friends, some of whom have traveled across the country to be here with me today. And every time I've taken an oath, my grandmother Dorothy has been beside me, and today is no different. At 97, she's probably gonna kill me for telling her age to this whole group, but she is still by my side, along with my mom, Dorothy, my stepfather, Nolan, and my husband, Michael. Michael is the only person who always laughs at my corny jokes. I love all of you. To the leaders and public servants in this room, I'm looking forward to the year ahead. I'm eager to connect with you, learn from your experiences, and with you, carry the message of positive leadership into every corner of Georgia. Together, we'll elevate what it means to serve with hope, with purpose, and with people always at the center. Most of us have people who motivate us in one way or another to run for office. I'd like to share the story behind my journey. After years of planning, in 2018, Michael and I were excited to finally step into the role of parents. We were expecting twin girls. We had dreams, names, and a vision for our family. But God had other plans that I couldn't see at the time. After spending a week on bed rest in the hospital, I gave birth to two perfect babies, Nina Pearl and Sarah Magnolia, who simply arrived too soon. They took their first and last breaths on the same day. I had to be rushed into emergency surgery after giving birth, leaving Michael with the fear he might lose his children and his wife in the same afternoon. It was, without a doubt, the hardest thing that has happened to me. But one of the first people I turned to outside of my family after our loss was my therapist. I knew I couldn't carry this grief alone. Even in those darkest moments, I knew there had to be something on the other side of that pain. that God's plan didn't have me going through this for no reason. It was a hard journey, but slowly I came out of the cloud of loss and grief, and I moved forward. Just short of a year later, I filed paperwork to run for mayor of College Park. That had always been my plan, whether I was pushing a stroller from door to door or not. I knew I still had a legacy to build in my daughter's honor, one rooted in service, purpose, and love. And I knew I had something meaningful to offer my neighbors. After a grueling election season capped with a runoff, my community agreed, making me the first Black and first female mayor in the city's history. I don't often share my most personal struggles, but I felt called to today. Because leadership isn't just about policies, budgets, or governance. It's also about the very human experiences that shape us into who we are. Positive leadership requires vulnerability, because a story never told can never serve others. None of us in this room look like what we've been through. But we dig deep and we work through our challenges to become the best versions of ourselves for the people we serve. Our perspectives matter. They are shaped by where we've been, who we love, what we've learned, and what we've lost. They matter in rooms where decisions are made because they help build communities that work for everyone. Positive leadership is about drawing from who we are as individuals to make sure everyone has the opportunity to thrive. But these days, leading with positivity is harder than ever. But strong leaders don't run from challenges. They rise above them and become a beacon through dark times. We saw it clearly last year when leaders from Valdosta to Augusta put their cities back together in the wake of Hurricane Helene. They put their residents first in the midst of incredibly trying times. We all know life will test us both personally and professionally. Leadership often stretches us beyond the point of comfort. I learned that myself early in my first term as mayor, when a global pandemic brought everything to a halt. But if we allow challenges to refine us instead of breaking us, we emerge stronger, wiser, and more prepared. Those moments remind me that leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to show up. Positive leadership isn't blind optimism. It's the steady belief that something meaningful can grow from what might have crippled us. It allows us to see beyond our present challenges to tomorrow's possibilities. If I can stand here before you after facing my hardest days, I know you can overcome whatever you're facing too. Resilience can turn our hardships into fuel for success. How we see a challenge often determines how we move through it. I knew I needed time after our babies died, and I gave myself a month to basically cocoon and heal. But I also understood clearly that while my children weren't here, I still was, and there was a reason for that. But don't get me wrong. There have been a lot of conversations with God where I ask, are you sure you want me to do this? Am I the one? But the conversations usually end in the same place. If not me, then who? As I face difficulties in my own city government, I've often felt alone. It's easy to think no one understands what you're experiencing. But over time, I've come to see that my struggles were actually an opportunity to pivot. I've been able to rally support, clarify the mission, and amplify new voices in our community and region. I want you to think back to one project or decision that would have turned out differently without your voice at the table. Fear tells us, this is too big. Stand down. But we know the truth. Our city's challenges aren't too big for us to face. They're too big for us to ignore. We were elected to meet them head on. We may not see the whole path yet, but we take the first step anyway. That uncertain first step is where positive, people-centered leadership begins and where our communities start to thrive. Positive leadership reminds us of the power of community. The leadership necessary to address your city's challenges can feel isolating, especially when you're making tough calls. But we've all seen what's possible when neighbors and colleagues rally together with intention. Even when it feels like you're standing alone, you're not. The people who knew you before the title, the ones who cheer you on quietly, they're your strength. Don't carry the challenges of your role alone. Lean on people, your family, friends, your peers in this room. Leadership doesn't mean doing it all yourself. It means knowing when to ask for help. When leaders ask for help and rally together, remarkable things happen, and we don't have to look far for proof. We see positive leadership alive and well across Georgia. In Jackson, First Fridays are uniting the community. A little ways from here in Metter, comprehensive planning and a concerted effort to work with all stakeholders has resulted in the Georgia Grown Innovation Center, an invaluable resource for small agribusiness owners. In Union City, the entire community has rallied around Miracle Baseball League games that allow children of all abilities to participate in a team sport. In Canton, celebrating the city's many cultural traditions is inviting every resident into civic life. And right here in Savannah, the current president of the African American Mayors Association and also the second vice president of the National League of Cities leads with courage and conviction. Across countless other cities, innovation and inclusion continue to drive progress. Too often, though, leadership is framed as us versus them. But the truth is, there is no them. There's only us. Our constituents. Our constituents are our community. They're our neighbors, our business owners, our educators, our advocates. Their voices help shape the future we all want to see. The best leaders lead with their communities, not just for their communities. When we embrace the ideal of shared leadership, we unlock potential and positivity. Real power doesn't come from holding a title. It comes from creating opportunities for others to contribute and thrive. Community also happens in this amazing organization. Look around you. GMA is not just a random gathering of people several times a year. It is community, our community. If you haven't fully leaned in yet, I urge you, do it now. The investment you make here will shape not only your professional path, it will pay dividends for years to come for your city. GMA models what positive leadership looks like. Truth-telling with grace, leading with clarity, and serving with conviction. It isn't just about slogans. It's about real relationships and real results. GMA has been a space where I've learned, grown, and felt supported. And I want the same for each of you, because when we support each other, we can serve our communities better. Positive leadership starts right here, today. Human, honest, hopeful. It's certainly how I want to lead, and I hope you will join me. Together, let's choose hope. Let's choose positivity. Let's choose people and let's change lives. Thank you so much for the trust that you've placed in me. Now, let's get to work.